So the first question is, where do we find openings? So we're out there looking for work, where do we look? There are a lot of different options available through the internet. There are just tons of different career search websites. You can just go to Google and type job search, and you'll get a bunch of different options that'll pop up. These are some of the different logos for different websites that are available. So there's lots of options for you to use as you're looking through kind of a traditional means for employment opportunities. The other place that we can look is just our network. So if you have friends, family members, if you belong to any social organizations, there are opportunities that they may know about that they can share with you. When we think about the types of businesses that are in our communities, most of the businesses that are in the United States are small businesses, 2 to 100 employees. With that in mind, most of these employers do not advertise in a traditional means. So if we've got a company that has 5 employees, they need to add capacity. Hey Joe, do you know anybody that's looking for work? We need to get another machine operator. Joe goes out, he starts talking to people that he knows, and lo and behold, his brother-in-law's second cousin is looking for work, so they come in, they talk to him, fill out the application, go through the process, he gets the job. So there is definite value in having a network where you can search through your friends and family to try and find opportunities in the community.
A lot of times too, like Kristen was saying, in your network, if you keep in touch with people that you've worked with in the past, and maybe they have been out looking for work as well, they may have some very good leads for you, something that worked well for them. I know when I was unemployed, I kept in touch with people that I had worked with at different places, and those were very good leads. So I would recommend, if you know anybody, that's a good way to get a lead.
Good call. And who should I talk to? So you're looking for work, you hear about an opportunity, who do you talk to? Human resources is a good starting point, but again, when you look at a company that has 5 employees, they're probably not going to have an HR department. So with a receptionist or who answers the phone, you can say, I heard you guys are looking for a machine operator. I heard that you're looking for fork truck driver. Is that the case? Yep. Okay. Well, I'm interested in the position. Who do I need to talk to find out more about the opportunity? And then that receptionist or whoever answers the phone can let you know that if the HR department isn't available. Lisa also brought up a good point that if a job is advertised, typically in the advertisement, it tells you how to proceed if you're interested in that position. If it says, no phone calls, please, don't call. If it says that you're supposed to go online, download an application, complete it, take it to their location, and drop it off, then don't hound them with telephone calls and say, well, can I just come to your location and fill out the application there? No, you're supposed to download one. And if you're like, well, I don't have a computer, how do I do that? That is something that you should think through and process on your own. Again, lots of resources. Go to the library, get one from them. Try and solve those problems on your own. And the next one, how do I approach a potential employer? You should be interested, prepared, and confident. When you go into whether you're filling out an application, going in for skills assessments, an interview, whatever process that you're involved in, you want to go in confident and wanting to make a good first impression, be prepared. That interest level, if you know what that company does, that's going to impress them. So you want to go in prepared and ready to talk about what you have to offer that company. So that's what they're looking for as you go through this process. This is my need, how are you going to fill it? How are you going to help me out of my predicament? So you guys work together that way. So be ready to go through that process. The prepared part, I have pens available in my lobby, if someone comes in to fill out an application, I have a pen available. I know human resources managers that accept applications, they do not have pens. And they will not let you take the application with you. So you need to be prepared as you go through that process. Another thing to think about, and this wouldn't happen at Damon Products, but it could happen somewhere else. You could go in for, just to complete an application, go into the location, fill out your application, submit it. They may have an opening that they want to fill right now. So if you go in for that, fill it out, they look it over, oh, yeah, this looks really good. Do you have a few minutes that you can talk to our production manager so we can talk through this process? So when you go in to fill out an application, you should be ready for whatever might happen. So go in prepared. Go in ready to make a good first impression. Don't go in to get an application in a tank top and holey jeans. You don't know if they might want to interview you. She made a good point earlier, so I'll go ahead and reiterate that, is you only have one opportunity to make a first impression. So when you go, I mean, and I'm not saying that somebody might not get the job. You might still get a job if every time you go in to get a job, you are wearing holey jeans and a t-shirt. Not saying that that's always going to screen you out. But that first impression is so important. So you want to make sure that you're always making a good first impression.
Always keep in mind that your job right now is looking for a job. So dress the part. You never know when you might get that opportunity to talk to someone that, you know, is looking for someone that fits your credentials.
What if, do you, based on what the job is that how you dress? Or if it's all you have is casual, how do you?
My rule of thumb is you should try to dress equivalently to the people that you're going in to meet.
Okay.
So through our process at Damon, there are several different opportunities for candidates to see our employees. So as you're thinking through that, well, in the office, they seem to wear business casual clothes, so I'll reflect that. I'll wear business casual. If you go into a bank and you're trying to get a job and everybody's wearing a tie, you should wear a tie too. You say, well, it's just production work. Everybody wears jeans and t-shirts. The HR manager doesn't wear jeans and t-shirt. It's fine for you to wear jeans and t-shirt when you get the job, but up until that point,
Right.
you want to make a good first impression, or you want to keep impressing as well. So, I mean, even if that first impression is gone, when you're in for the fourth time and this is your face-to-face interview, dress to impress. You're always there to impress the employer.
And above all, always be neat and clean. Clean hair, take a shower. You're gonna make a first impression here. So, always. And don't think that that doesn't matter, because it does. It makes a difference.
So how do I best communicate my skills, past experience, capabilities? How do I go about getting that out there to the employer? Manufacturing companies are looking for experienced workers. They want to realistically justify your fit for the opening. So as you're thinking through your resume, your application, know what it is that they're looking for so that you can match that. That is very important. Prepare and practice, like what Nancy was saying earlier. You want to practice for your interview. Granted, you don't know what questions that they're going to ask, but you should be prepared. It always baffles me as we go through our interview process. I sit the candidate down, I explain our process, and I let them know that at the end of the interview, I am going to answer any questions that they have for me. Hint, hint, I want you to ask questions. Lots of people don't. And how that makes me feel is, well, they're not interested in knowing more about what we do. So it's important to have at least one question. So as you're going through that whole interview, you've got the opportunity to think about one question, so you can throw that out there. So not to say that every employer is going to give you that cue, but go ready with at least one question.
Just be ready for it.
Yep, be ready with at least one question. And practice what you're gonna, what you think you're gonna say. It's nerve-wracking sitting down for an interview. I really want this job, and people sweat and it's like, oh my gosh, and they'll think about what they're gonna say, and it's okay. Slow down. It's, we want you to be comfortable. I try to break the ice, help people be comfortable, but again, not everybody does that. So when you practice, it can kind of help you through that a little bit.
Are there questions you shouldn't ask?
I would say, yeah, there's probably a few questions that you shouldn't ask. But again, I think that kind of goes back to common sense. But there are questions that you should ask as well.
Mhm.
If you need an accommodation for job, you should ask how that works. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
And it's always okay to ask, if they have a time frame for when they want to get this position filled.
Right.
Yes?
Something that I'm sorry, you had a question?
Well, usually it helped me one time by standing in front of a mirror, talking to yourself in the mirror there, and gives you a little more confidence that way too.
Yes, it does. And it helps to just say the words.
Try to relax.
Yeah, and you can do that too, just introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Kristen Shoulders. It's nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Kristen Shoulders. It's nice to meet you.
Or get somebody sit there and you let them, be the
Yep.
boss, and you come in there talking to them.
And then you can even have them ask you questions, just off the wall questions. Well, I don't know the answer to that. Well, you just kind of think through
You
it.
never know what they're gonna do.
Yep, well, you do.
Watch your
Well, they
facial
ask.
expressions. Smile and be happy that you have this opportunity to sell yourself. Regardless of what has happened to you in the past or in your job search, you are here now. And you want them, bring that personality out. And when you're practicing, smile. So that your eyes sparkle and you
And
look like you
are-
really want this job.
Are
And
you
you're
kind of
awake.
interviewing your employer too, sort of?
Yes, you should be. You want to make sure that you're a fit. That is very important. And like what Lisa was saying, you want to appear that you're happy that you're in the process, but you also want to be proud of yourself. Be proud of the success that you've had. Be proud of the experience that you've had. You may not be proud of the fact that you've been off work for 3 years and just one more interview, but it is an opportunity for you to be.
Gotta try to sell yourself.
Yeah, you do. You have to sell yourself, and you have to convince that employer that you're what they need. Okay. And then research the company to familiarize yourself with what they do. I talked about this earlier in the prior presentation. We have 4 different opportunities where we ask candidates to come into Damon. Their application, when they do their skills assessment, they come in and they do a hands-on assessment, they interview with me and one of our production team leaders, and then they do a job shadow. They also have a telephone screening and a telephone interview. So there's lots of different contact that they have with the company. And it is very disheartening for me when I ask someone in the interview process, which is the second to the last process, what do you know about Damon products and why do you want to work here? And they say, well, I really don't know what you do, I just want a job. Be like, you wouldn't want to offer something yourself. If you have something that you want to give to somebody, and you ask them, why do you want it? Well, because you're giving it away. You know what I mean? There's just,
Yeah.
there's a reason why beyond, I just want a job. And we are looking for people that want to have a career, and we invest a lot of time and energy in our new hire employees, so we want to make sure that that fit is there. So having that communication, taking that little step to go out and find out what you can about the company, and maybe even the people that work there.
Exactly, you have the opportunity to Google the name of the company and go on and read about not just what they make, but what their mission statement is, and you know what their some of their policies are. And when you're being asked by Kristen, you know, why do you want to work for Damon? You may have never done what they do, but your answer could be, I've read about you, I agree with your policies, your mission statement knocked me out. I just think I could be really happy here. You're telling her that you researched the company and that, you know, you like the atmosphere there, or you like the climate, I guess.
And when you think about the other side, the employer side, if the employer is going to spend 3 hours in the process of recruiting a new hire employee, why would we not expect the candidate to spend at least 3 hours researching us to make sure that we're a good fit? You know, and if somebody was willing to spend that much time making sure that they were a fit for our company, that would be a huge thing for me.